Are we saying welcome, Michelle? Are we saying welcome to your second podcast on your
Yeah,
show
we
here?
are. We are saying welcome. And if you haven't caught the first one, watch the first one because we're going to kind of take off where we left off on the first one. So if you watch the first one, you'll know that we are talking about how to create the wealth within all of us and the journey of doing that. And me starting, uh, let's just say at zero because I'm not that far from it.
Well, I'm going to say this is me. This is me with my blue blockers on.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about that right now. You're kind of the web design gal that myself and all of my group that I'm in, and you're in, we all come to you for that work because you do this tremendous job for us at like the best deal ever, it seems like. So that might be part of the problem, maybe because you do such good work and you're the best deal in town. You should probably charge more for what you do, to be honest. But we work together in our light frequency patch business. And it sounds like maybe now you're looking to do more of that than what you do for us with the web design stuff. Is that right?
That is correct. So the backstory is I got involved with the LifeWave Patch Company about 2.5 years ago and quickly fell into a place of creating websites for other people. And myself, I did not take advantage of building a business with LifeWave, although I did build a little bit of a business, but my own business trading a lot of time for maybe not so many dollars, but still providing a good service and doing good work. So now that I'm over 2 years in, I'm looking at other people making money thinking, oh, what the heck am I doing? And
Yeah.
I need to start doing this because I love this product. I believe in it. But I think I had to overcome some obstacles, to be honest. Again, being truthful here, it is a multi level marketing, network marketing company. And I had probably a block in me for even getting involved in another one. I had been involved in one before many years ago and it did not work. There was no help. There were all these promises. The product was really good product. In fact, the products I probably still have lasting changes from that product today. But needless to say, the financial aspect of it did not work for lots of reasons. And I will say it was not for my lack of trying. I literally had gotten to the point where I was going door to door almost to specific and it still didn't work. And it was very frustrating, very upsetting. And at the time I had people around me just telling me like it's never, just all these naysayers, like you're wasting your time, blah, blah, blah. So needless to say, what I got out of it was a lot of inventory and a big credit card debt.
Well, there's a stigma with that that phrase, and the truth is that you can use the term MLM if you want, or networking. Networking is a better word. Networking is what I would call it, and it's actually the very best way I've ever seen to cash flow quickly. The other way is old. It's an old tired mule. Okay, it's been beat up. This 9 to 5 till 65, dead at 75 idea is old and wore out. And what we do with networking is a fast track. And it's instead of getting paid by someone, you're getting paid through someone. When you get paid through someone, you've also helped them and many, many other people too. They're not employees, they're partners. And so this is a way to fast track to wealth, and then why you're helping a lot of people. And in our world, what we do is health related. So medical bankruptcy is number one in America. So if we help people with their health in a non-invasive, easy to do way and cash flow, it's a win-win. And people just need to wake up to the fact that they've been lied to
Yeah.
about MLM.
Well, and it is a deprogramming thing. I feel like my entire life, from my parents, from the schools, from every system, yeah, I was told if I work hard, I went to college, I worked hard, I still work hard, that'll have like this result of some of the things that I want in this life. And trust me, the things I want are not that big.
Yeah.
But it's kind of this lie that you realize as you start getting older because you've been working 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, and yet the results still aren't there. And then you look at what you're trading. Are you trading time with your kids? Are you trading quality relationships? Whatever that is, you're always trading something. And as we discussed previously, I didn't choose to go that route. I did choose to start my own business, which had its own struggles, but I made a choice and I was there for my kids and all of this other really good stuff that I wouldn't trade for anything. But now that I'm in the position I'm in, I do want to fast track. As I said, I am 50. To be clear, I really don't believe in 401ks because why should I let them play with my money? I should be the one that
Yeah.
should have it and
Yeah.
wait for a long time to get it. So I do want a cash flow, and I would like this little dream of my beach cottage near the ocean. So it's getting over all these program things like, well, that beach house isn't for you, it's only for these people. And well, when you really boil it down, for whatever reason it is, we build it up in ourselves that we can't have that because of these reasons that we make up. So what I'm trying to prove to myself and by doing this is that no, we are all equal and we can all have that and there are ways to go about it. But you got to step out of the mindset of what you've been told. Work hard and I'll get what I, you know, want in this life. It really doesn't work because you
No,
cap
it doesn't.
out. I mean, there's no way I could get what I am striving for by putting in all that time and effort. I'm just not going to get it. There's only so much time I have to trade for those dollars and that we need to leverage it. And I tried that before, but it didn't work for whatever reasons. And now I'm taking this second look at it more than 10 years after with a completely fresh mindset and a fresh set of eyes and saying to myself, you know what? In a year, I could be purchasing my beach house. I could be
Well,
going on this trip that I wanted. I could be, replacing an old.
you're reminding me of a study I did about, well, I probably did it about 20 years ago, and it was called Your Money or Your Life. And in that book, it breaks down everything like a mathematician. It takes the average American lifespan, say for a man back then, it was 76 or 77 for a man. And for a woman, it was like, I don't know, 80, 82, right? And so the women were outliving the men by a little bit. Well, it would break it down. It goes like, all right, let's see. You go to school, high school, 17, 18, you go to college, let's say 4, 6 years, blah, blah, blah. You get out of college. Oops, you got married, you get a mortgage, 30 years. Oh, now there's 2 kids. You got a car payment too. Oh no, you got a few credit cards showing up that you're maxing those out. I'm working 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours. All of a sudden I'm 55, 60. Oh no, Social Security sucks. Medicare, Medicaid, and now I'm sick. I'm going to the doctor all the time because I'm so beat up from all those years of working. You're 60, you're nowhere near retiring, and you've got rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, your back is trashed, and you're going from one doctor to the next, and a little bit of savings that you had accumulated gets pissed away on doctors. But that's kind of like a little story that gets played out there over and over. And so when you talk to them about, hey, why don't you leverage thousands of other people and their time with a health product that's now frees you up? Because if you've got 10,000 people and they all work 1 hour a week, that's 10,000 hours a week that you didn't work, because there's no way you could ever work 10,000 hours a week. You can barely get 45 done without, sleeping all weekend. When you finally have your weekend off, you sleep it all. And so this guy broke it down with math.
Yeah.
And you went, wait a minute.
Yeah, and then that's
I
sold to us in like a big ribbon on top, like, oh, you can do this too. And it's so wonderful, the American dream and all
Yeah,
this.
it's called the
Like,
American debt,
wow.
and so you're like, so wait a minute, I'm trading hours for dollars, which is my life energy, like a candle that burns, that I can never get back.
Mhm.
And so that I worked that whole hour for, let's say it's even $25. So I worked a whole hour for $25, but then they take the tax out, the state and the federal, and now it's down to like $16. But then it took me an hour to get ready for work and I had to drive there, and then an hour to get home and de-stress, watch a little TV, go to bed, start over again. Wait a minute. What am I doing
And I
here?
bought a
I,
Starbucks on the way and I bought lunch at whatever place. So now I've got other expenses that I wouldn't have normally.
yeah. And you're like, and that's what this guy would do in this book. He would want you to take like an old shoebox and keep every receipt. I don't care if it's a pack of gum. Keep every receipt on everything you spend. And at the end of the month, you start categorizing it out. And you're like, oh my God, I spent $145 at Dutch Brothers or Starbucks. What am I doing? Right.
Yeah.
And then you realize that it's a big old trap and a little game you're playing. Somebody else is getting rich off of you,
Yes.
but you're not. You're not getting the beach house at the cottage, are you?
And even if you're at home like I was, I'm still at home and I'm still sitting in front of the computer and I would not trade being at home, trust me, but I am still here. I'm still in front of the computer. I'm still putting in the hours and often I put in a lot more hours because well, I'm free at night.
You do a great job raising your children. They become great, responsible people, excellent. Maybe they'll have some grandkids with for you, but then you get to have a life too, right? And so even when I was broke, I was taking 3, 4 trips a year without fail. Ultimately, you come to realize that life is one big memory.
Mhm.
And so you got to be making memories with whatever you like to do. If your thing is the beach cottage and my thing is hiking all the national parks, which it is, I'm doing that. I'm not waiting until I'm 72 to get started.
Well, and in that same context, this is what I want to teach my kids who are 21. I want to teach them that they don't need to spend that time for dollars, time for dollars, time for dollars, trying to get what they want and never seeming to get ahead. And with complete disclosure, I've lived within my means. I don't even have a credit card. I have not had a credit card in over 10 years. So I have no credit card debt. The only debt that I currently have is an auto loan, and that's it. So I've been living everything I've done, which I've done a lot. I've done within my own means. I haven't charged it. I haven't put it off to the future. So that's where I want to stay. I don't want to go say, I want to achieve these things and a credit card will help me. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the path that I wanted to go. So I learned a long time ago that credit cards were not the answer, and therefore I don't have anything.
When I interviewed 3 doctors a year or two ago, and I asked the one guy, I said, hey, when you had your chiropractic clinic, which I used to go to, he was my chiropractor, and I'd go there and it was really nice clinic. And I said, what did it cost you every month to operate, to keep the doors open before you ever made any profit? And he was like, oh gosh, it was about 10 grand a month before I made my first dollar. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's a lot. So how much does it cost you to run your light frequency business here with us? About $200 a month. And I make as much net monthly as I do with the clinic. 10,000 overhead to make this much, or 200 overhead to make the same amount.
Yeah.
But the clinic, I got to be there 20, 30, 40, 50 hours. This I'm doing about 10 hours. Can you imagine making $1 million a year and you're working 10 to 15 hours a week? And it happens while you're sleeping too.
And yeah, and that's the goal. So the goal is for me to be making that, doing what I'm doing which I 100% want to share, because the whole goal is not for me just to do it, but for everyone else to do it too. And I guess I've put myself here as sort of the guinea pig to, well, I'm going to try this and I'm going to see if it works, because I know it'll work. In addition to, I'm not giving up. So just keep in mind, I'm not quitting anything. I'm not giving up my other business. I'm not taking on debt to do it. Just going out there networking. And with my own business, I've already been doing that. So
You've already been doing it.
I've already been networking.
It's all sharing and caring and networking.
And sharing and caring the things that you feel passionate about. Even with graphic website design, it was even easy to share that with people because I love doing it. I loved helping entrepreneurs. I loved helping small businesses. So it was easy for me to share what I do with people. It's no different whether it's a service or a product or whatever you're doing that's making your wealth. It's a mindset shift, and that's what I've been going through. I only started sharing this product and focusing myself on the business of light frequency health in the last maybe 2.5 months. And I've been involved with this for over 2.5 years. So that's how long it took me to sort of get it out of my head that, nah, that's not for you. Nah, that's not for you. You tried that. That didn't work. So that's how long it took for me to kick out those negative.
Yeah, but I mean, think about this. How many people do you know that went to school, to college, and came out with 30, 40, 50, $60,000 worth of student debt? They went to college for 4, 5, or 6 years to do this thing, and now they don't even do it. They don't even work in that field. So who's to say you can't change what you were doing? So who's to say, oh, I tried this networking thing like 10 years ago, it didn't work, so that's it forever? That doesn't mean that.
And it's not to say that this is for everyone either. But what I'd like to do is open up your mind to, this could be a possible route for you if you find the right product for you. So with that said, why don't we talk about that product? But keep in mind, the overarching goal of this conversation is to open up your mind to a different way of earning income through these types of network marketing companies with whatever product that resonates with you, that you're passionate about. You and I happen to be passionate about this based on our beliefs in health and wellness, our beliefs in wealth, our beliefs in just where the future, I think, of medicine is going. Additionally,
we work with light frequency patches. In particular, this one, which is called the X39, X39, and there's a reason why it's called that, the X standing for 10 years, basically. But when I open this up, inside you have the smaller packaging, and inside of here are these patches, and you get 30 of them. In the case of this light frequency patch, understanding what we have here, this particular one activates stem cells. In the world of anti-aging or reverse aging, even, if we can, in an easy way, the easiest way I've ever seen to slow that, pump the brakes on aging, and even reverse aging in some cases, like a bald head growing hair again, is kind of reversing aging, or gray hair turning brown again is kind of reversing aging. Stem cells is kind of the buzzword for that. But the light frequency is next level because it's so impressive of what can happen if you can activate stem cells again, only using light without a shot. Because up until this patch, the only game in town is the shot. Well, the shots are $5 grand, $7 grand. You could get an IV drip, 10 grand and up. They're not cheap. And we're talking about freeing people up financially, and the average American can't even do that. Whereas here, it's non-invasive. It's like a Band-Aid. You put it on. It's easy, and we know it's effective because we have a 20-year patent, and we have all these studies, and we have all these recorded testimonials. We got about 2,600 of them right now and counting. Name a problem, and we probably have a podcast on it with before and after. So there you go.
And what I love about it is that it's using the light and the heat within your own body, and your body knows what's wrong. Sometimes we're getting a symptom somewhere, but the root of that symptom we're still searching for. So what I love about this technology is that it uses your body knows what needs to be repaired, your body knows what's wrong, and it does it. Well, let me put on this patch and let my body do the work and find what's wrong, and then start going to work in repairing that.
Like you just said about the body knows what to do. How many times have you cut your finger, blown out your knee, fallen on your knee, and now it's all scraped up and swollen, and it just heals? Even on your crummy diet, it heals, right? And so the body does know what to do. Most humans aren't aware, again, that we glow. Humans emit light, right? 6-8 inches of light. We can't see it because it's not in our vision spectrum. But if you put on infrared goggles, you can now see it, especially in the dark. We glow, we emit light. And so we are electrical beings, and we are magnetic beings, and we are light beings. Mostly we are light. And so when you put this patch on, the white portion is a matrix built from crystals. So it's a crystal matrix, right? And crystals reflect and amplify light. So in the case of the patch, it's what's called non-transdermal. Nothing goes in the blood. It's not like a nicotine patch. Nothing goes in the blood. It is a reflection device. And so your own light hits it and bounces off of it back into yourself, but with a new wavelength now, based on the matrix. And that elevates what's known as GHK copper peptides. That alone, just that alone, is worth having the patch for, because there's a whole book written just on the benefits of that. GHK copper peptides are amazing, mainly boosting collagen, gluing you back together, which is why we sag and get wrinkly and all the other things that happen. From there, it regulates 4,100 of our genomes, our genes. So about a third of our total genes get regulated up or down, like a tuning, like it's tuning, like yours. Your regulation is going to probably be different than mine. It's like a piano tuning, different, okay? Then you get stem cell activation, and not just old ones, say you're 80, not just old acting stem cells, but they're younger acting stem cells. And so you get more of them moving through your blood, and they act young. And so they now renew and repair tissue. You get all of that, all three of those, which, by the way, a shot, you only get one. With the patch, you get all three. For pennies on the dollar. And you repair and you regenerate tissue, and the body knows what to do. There's a pecking order there. Your kidneys are more important than your bad wrist, because you'll die without the kidneys. So it might go to work on the kidneys before the wrist, but just hold up. It's going to get to the wrist too.
It will. It took
But
a
the
long
kidneys
time
are more
to get where we
important.
are. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get back.
Yeah.
And for anybody into numerology, I've always found it interesting, the 3 and the 9.
I didn't think about that. Explain that. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, if you look at the sort of universal numbers, the 3, the 6, the 9, everything, especially having to do with life, is in multiples of 3, 6, or 9. And those are
Oh.
sort of like the key building blocks, which is interesting that it's related to stem cells and that's a whole other rabbit hole that hopefully we'll go down soon, but I
Yeah,
digress.
high frequency medicine is not new.
No.
It's very old. I mean, Nikolai Tesla had figured out a way to run something crazy like 300,000 volts through his body and not die. He was able to hold these big old light bulbs just in his hands and light them up with his own body. So it's not new. It's old, but like everything else that works, that doesn't keep you imprisoned in the little slave trap, they're suppressed. And
So
but
it's a matter of awakening. And I think one of the other benefits of the patches that I've noticed too is it does kind of stir a little bit of an awakening. And the deeper you get into it, I think the more you realize there's a lot more to it than that. But we're gonna keep it at the health level for now. Um, but definitely a topic for another time.
well, just remember the key word stem cells.
Yeah. And I think one of the important things that you said was that if we plan on living longer, which we all want that as well, we have to accept that money is our currency and that is going to give us the leverage to purchase, to enjoy the things in this life that we want to enjoy, whatever that is for you, whether it's fine food, fine wine, the beach, going
Yeah.
on trips, whatever it is for you, because we're all different regardless, we need it. And I think that's uh, going to be coming up next is our relationship with money. We're not going to get into it now, but just little plugs for what's going to be coming up in the future because that's a big one. And creating cash flow.
So cash flow means that, like I mentioned, I can typically go to bed on Sunday night and wake up Monday morning. Monday of this week, I woke up to $890 cash flow already there while I slept. That's what I'm talking about. Cash flow is it keeps coming whether you're working or not. Now, I stay working because I like to do this work.
Mhm.
It's not work to me. It's like a joy. It's like my ministry. And so doing this for me is not work. And once you get out of that slave thing that you hate and you do things you want to do, it's no longer work. It's fun. And you're happy to see people freed up from punching the clock, especially if they hated it like I did. The day they get to say, hey, I'm not even giving a 2 weeks notice, homie. I'm giving a 2-minute notice. See ya.
Yeah.
And they walk away because they can, and they've replaced that thing, that job, just over broke job, with boss, double sob spelled backwards.
We need cash. We need money. That's what drives us. It's never our why. I don't think any of us go around saying, well, we just want money. There's always a reason, but money is sort of the vehicle. Money is the means of
Well,
trade.
look what you can do with it. I mean, we're not married to it. We don't love it.
No.
It's not our love of life, but look what you can do with it. I can get my son's house painted for him and he doesn't have to pay for it. I buy all my mom's health products, all of them. I take everybody to the ocean for a family gig. I pay for that. I take everybody out to family lunches and dinners. I pay for all of it. You know, my wife doesn't work full time. She works part time. It's a tool. It's a leverage tool to also improve the quality of other people's lives too. It's not a greedy thing. It's a joy of giving. What does the scripture say? More happiness in giving than receiving. It's true. You don't have to give it all away, but when you have excess, you can do it.
Yes. And that definitely creates a greater quality of life for everyone. And you can share it and then it trickles down and like a whole ripple effect.
But then I want them to do it with me.
Yes.
So my son is in here with me. My daughter's in here with me. My sister-in-law is with me. I want it to be a family affair.
Yeah.
Because I don't want my son punching that clock 9 to 5 until he's wore out. No.
And my sister does something totally different than me, and she is in here with me too. And I'm trying to get a lot of my friends and family on board, but again, it is a mindset shift to pursue this. And it took me a mindset shift as well. It took almost 2 years to let go of what attachments I had to a previous experience to say, okay, well, that was my experience then, but
Well, look at this shift. You could say the other web design people like you out there, they're like, oh my gosh, Michelle's doing good work. She's really competition for us. We got to step up our game, and it's a competition. And they're like, we got to get rid of Michelle. Let's squash her and get her out of the business. We're over here. How would you like to have like 12,000 cheerleaders going, go, Michelle, go? Because we're all in it together.
and your family and friends in there too.
Yeah, and the better Michelle does, the better I do.
Yep.
And the better I do, the better Michelle does. And it's like this win, win, win. It's all win everywhere.
The support has been incredible. Even when I wasn't pursuing it as a business, it was really incredible. It was definitely a different experience for me. So, as we've said, I'm at the beginning of this journey and definitely going to be checking in. And of course, I'm going to share these patches with everybody and all the other ones to come. But for now, if you want more information, you can go to my website, thewealthwithin.us, and there'll be links there linking to more patch information. You can try them out for yourself. Any questions, you can type them in, fill out a contact form. We'll be there and helping you every step of the way. But again, this is just one part of the journey to my financial freedom.